Hello, this is part 2 of the generative AI for the Arabic language. Earlier part we discussed a number of challenges we face when we do generative AI on the Arabic language, because Arabic language it contains diacritic marks and the grammar is entirely different from the English language. So the output is often not making sense, and it's not obviously including all the diacritic marks which forms the basis for the Arabic language grammar, causing disambiguation and total out of context answer for the normal generative AI. So earlier we discussed that basically the grammar of the English is, in the earlier part we discussed the normal grammar of the English compared to Arabic, that in English we have subject, verb and object, while in Arabic the order is different. We have verb, subject and their object. And both object and subject can be embedded within the Arabic language. This is the beauty of the Arabic language. Single word can be as powerful as containing both the object as well as the subject. In earlier video we discussed how basically the object can be embedded. We have prefix also, like for example prefix can be added to the verb also and added to a noun also. In case of verb, it will become an object. Like for example we discussed the suffix is there, for example this common suffix for all of these, so it will change the meaning of the statement just by adding a suffix to the verb. And if in case same is done to the noun, it will associate that noun to that person in terms of pronouns. Alright, so this was we discussed, and then we said in next series we are going to discuss how to do the same treatment with the verb. So here we have the verbs. Basically in Arabic compared to English language, there are verb forms. For a same word alama, for example here, which means to teach, it is basically having around 7 verb forms. The same 3 letters can denote many meanings based on diacritics and based on the verb forms variations. So the same word, if for example we have kasra in between instead of fatha and shad sign, so that will mean instead of teach, that will means to know. So this is first difference. So in basically these are collection of different variations of the same word with the meanings are different. In terms of English, you can just consider them different words also. It doesn't make much difference. In fact, they are different words, but they are grouped together in Arabic language in the concept called verb forms. So sometimes the intensity is different for the same verb. So they are grouped together, making some sense sometimes, but if considered as separate words, they also make pretty good sense. So also another difference is for the verbs, we have 3 major tenses in Arabic. For example, past tense and the present and future is combined together as one tense basically. And then we have the imperative, which is the action to be done now. For example, the same word, again you see if just the diacritic change and it means entirely different. Allama means he taught, while alima means teach. Alim, teach. So this means it's just a change of diacritics and the meanings will change entirely different. But again to the main discussion, how do we deal with all the nouns, all the tenses in the Arabic language. So what happens basically is similar to what we have as prefixes here in case of the object for the verb. We have, in case of verbs, we have both the prefix and sometimes suffix also that is added to the verb to change the meanings. To add the context of the verb. So basically what happens is you have, for example, the same word, the base root word, and in this case, for example, you add extra letter to, for example, it will mean I taught. And if, for example, you add na, means we taught. So you have special suffixes. You see the pattern again, like we have the pattern of suffixes in case of object. So in case of subject embedding, like who is the doer of the action, we have certain suffixes and prefixes sometime also. So if, for example, we change the prefix in the same root word, it will change the tense of the verb. For example, I teach, I taught. I will teach, you will add additional seen to the same present tense. So and of course for the passive also and the negation also, there is a little pattern there. So use la for the present tense, and you use lum for the past tense, and then you use len for the future tense. Basically, then the crux is you are using some special suffixes and prefixes to make out the meaning of the verbs in case of changing the doer of that action, for example. So you see the same root words repeating, but it's just the prefix and suffixes are changing with the making of the pattern. You use the same pattern with other verbs also, and you change the meaning of that, adding the subject or the doer of the action. So let's see one example. Here, for example, in the same order, for example, we use yu'allimuna, they teach, right? So this is one combination where we have one prefix and one suffix to add to the same root word. We call it yu'allimuna, so which means they teach. So like that, we can have the same combination of prefixes and suffixes to make all the other tenses also equivalent to English grammar. And the beauty of the Arabic language is it's concise, compact, but same single word can mean can embed both the doer of the action as well as the subject. For example, we were discussing yu'allimuna, right? So if you see, I just copy pasted the bottom part from here. Yu'allimuna, they teach. At the same time, I could add the suffix also. I would land on a single word, yu'allimuna, which means they teach them. So this is basically the structure of English Arabic grammar. Arabic might seem apparently very complex, but actually it is not. I mean, if you look at the structure and follow the verb forms and the grammar correctly, you can make sense of any word or complex statements also very easily, basically. So it is basically following a pattern of the grammar as listed in this document. So basically the problem, as I discussed, when you use the same the generative AI engines, we have ChatGPT, in fact DeepSeek also, and for example the Copilot also. And as I shown in the earlier video, when you translate or for example do the normal translation also, or when you try to get the output, you will get the output without these diacritic marks, which absolutely is absurd, because as I shown, the verb forms the same word, as you can see. For example, to know and the teach, they just are disambiguated by these basically diacritic marks, right? So when the complexity will increase, definitely it will mean a lot different thing, and it will start to make a lot less sense then. So basically changes are needed to address these challenges when we have, for example, using these engines. So basically what we can do in the next video, we are going to cover on how to address these challenges, how to customize your base model, and so that your output is making more sense in the Arabic language. We can have number of techniques like verb embedding techniques and morphological analysis, and the way that tokens are created for the Arabic language, so that when you do basically the same process on the Arabic language, the output is definitely including the diacritic and making more sense. So thank you for now.